What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Digging Deeper. Yes, we are kicking the podcast back off. And believe it or not, we got Mr. Josh Reinke himself in the building and Mr. co-host Errol Bremer. How you guys doing this evening?
Good. How about you?
Killing it. Killing it as usual, at least trying to.
Everybody have a good day?
So far, so good. Josh, how about you, man?
I had a good day. It's crunch time with the magazine. We go to print on the 19th, so
Dude,
it gets pretty crazy. Plan on working this weekend probably.
It's a good feeling right there, man. That magazine is freaking awesome. It's been around longer than all of us have been alive, that's for sure.
Yeah, 92 years. It's it feels I don't know. I guess I don't know how it feels yet.
It's speechless. It's a speechless feeling.
It's a remains to be
feeling.
Seen.
Yeah, it's a speechless feeling. No, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
No, it's absolutely awesome. Let's go ahead and do a few shout outs real quick. We got Mr. Paul Shiver in the building. What's going on, Mr. Paul? We got Tina here. We got Don. What's up, Don? Ain't seen you or heard from you in a little while, buddy. What's up, Stephen Bertrand? What's up, brother? We got, who else we got here in the building? Oh, Cal Kellogg.
Cal, my buddy.
He says the magazine looks better every issue. Yes, indeed it does. That's for damn sure, man. That's for sure. All right, so first and foremost, I wanted to say a few things, and then we're going to dig deep with Mr. Josh Reinke. First and foremost, I wanted to say we're kicking the podcast back off. So from here on out, we're going to be having podcasts every other Thursday. So make sure that you tune in. Everybody's kind of putting their tools away, so to speak, right? So with that being said, we're going to start bringing awesome, amazing guests on the podcast for you guys, for your entertainment. When you're sitting on the toilet, sitting on the couch, wherever you may be sitting, we will have some good entertainment for you, and you'll get to know all of these individuals that we bring on the podcast. So without further ado, and one more thing. I do have something special that I'd like to give away, but you have to like and comment and share. If you don't do that, well, guess what? Then you don't get – I shouldn't show them, but I should show them, right? Maybe I shouldn't show them. Maybe mid-podcast I'll show them what it is, right? So make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you share. Simple, super easy. You use your finger, take the cell phone and do this a couple of times and you win something, right? Super straightforward. Anywho, with that being said, let's kick this podcast off. Mr. Josh, the first and famous, most excited question of them all. How the hell did you get into how'd you get into prospecting and mining, brother?
Well, that goes back 5 generations. You know, my family's been here in Grass Valley since the exact date isn't known, but, you know, since the late gold rush, like late 1800s. And, you know, so I got to know my great-grandpa, who was here as a gold miner, a logger, you know, anything you could think of at that time, a trucker. He owned his own truck. And so he's the guy who got me into it. I knew him. And, you know, he taught me how to do everything. Gold painting.
How old were you? How old were you when you, you know, when you started to learn the ropes? How old were you?
Probably like 13, you know, in that range, yeah. And that's when I got interested in it. And, and the great-grandpa, he just taught me everything. And taught me about this area, too. That's the big thing, is knowing the area that you're in. And that's what makes people successful, you know, because someone could call me from an area that I know nothing about, like Washington, right? And I wouldn't be able to help very much. So having that experience in the area that you're in counts for everything, being a prospector.
No, that's big, man. I mean, so let's track back a little bit. So you're 13 years old, and was it your father? Was it your uncle? Who was it?
Great-grandpa.
Your great-grandfather. So your great-grandfather brought you into the gold mining and prospecting kind of situation. And as 13 years old, as we all are, it's hard to really take things seriously. Around what age? Oh, go for it, Errol.
So how old was your great-grandpa then?
I don't know about then, but he lived to 96. And so...
Jeez.
Yeah, I think he passed when I was probably maybe 17 or 18, maybe 16,
Wow.
17 in that range. So I had a good amount of time to hear his stories. And really, that's what got me in it, was just all the crazy stories he had.
Right.
Any particular one you remember?
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, hold on. We're going to jump into those. Mr. Jump 5 steps over here on the far right, guys. Just don't mind that guy for now. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, let's hear one of them. Let's definitely hear one of them. I would love to hear one of them. And I'm sure everybody watching.
Whatever.
I got both of you guys pointing at me. So clearly, everybody here wants to watch or wants to hear it.
Is I actually meant to point that way, but I'm pointing the opposite way of the guy I'm looking at. So I kind of.
So go figure. You both point at the same. Well, now we got to hear his story. Now we got to.
Well, this is a trucker story, right? So they're down at a mine clearing logs for a mine. They need to get them up out of the ravine. And, there's no paved roads or anything. This is probably 1930, in that range. And they had to link 3 of their old trucks together to get one truck with a load out. And they did that, probably 20 times to finish the job. So they had 4 trucks to get the one truck with the load out every time to get up this hill. And the cool thing is I actually met a guy in Grass Valley probably, 6 years ago. And he told me the same story because I talked to him. He's an old guy and he knew my grandpa. He told me the same story that my grandpa told me.
That's badass.
Yeah, it's my love, right? The heritage of it all for me is.
Dude, that's bad. Imagine 3 full-blown trucks. Well, Larry, go grab the chain. We got to get this load out some point in time. And so they're lining up all these. Yeah, 4 of them. Excuse me. They're lining all of them up, putting daisy chains on them all.
We're gonna do it, guys.
What that tells me is the gold had to be really good.
And then they were actually up on near like Scales, which is Slate Creek, LaPorte area, super rich.
I'm not going to bed. I just want to give you a hug.
That's freaking awesome. That's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, so that's the story. I guess we're getting back to the main line of the point here. What were we talking about before that?
No, so since Arrow likes to just throw things into the mix there. So you were 13 years old. Your great grandfather, got you into prospecting and mining, and told you about it. And I remember when I was a kid, it was sort of something that I was interested in, but being a teenager, you don't really take anything in this world seriously. It's your way or the highway. You could care less, and then, you know what I mean, so on and so forth, bills and this, that, and the other, and now you're an adult, right? So, when did you really start kind of taking things seriously, as far as like being a weekend warrior or, just instantly jumping at, hey, you know what, I can make this something and really bring a lot of people out and see something that I see. What was kind of the turning point for you, and what age would you say that was around the time?
I guess since I was young, it was always a passion, right? I mean, some guys go fishing, some guys go camping, some guys do this. And at that point in my life, I was looking at it more from that perspective. Like, this sounds fun. I'd rather find like money in the river than fish.
Then have to, yeah, I agree to that. I agree.
And so I definitely started out as a hobbyist, right? And none of my family was involved in the industry beyond my great grandpa. In fact, a bunch of them moved away, and then my dad brought us back to Grass Valley, where the roots were, when I was 11 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it kind of disconnected for 2 generations, right? And then we came back, and that's kind of the cool thing too about the position I find myself in, is that it was never planned, right? It's not that I was groomed to be this. It's just my family was that once, and now it's come back.
Right.
I feel blessed more than anything.
Yeah, feeling honored for being able to continue a legacy. You know what I mean? I mean, clearly it was in the cards early on, and your great grandfather to be able to teach you those principles and all the different stuff that has to do with a true pioneer from back in the day. I mean, that's what we all want to live on. That's the massive. You know what I mean? And so being able to continue to keep that pioneer spirit going and allow other folks to be able to experience the same thing. That's where it's at, man. That's what keeps that spirit that we all call, that spirit alive.
Yeah.
So so from a teenager to, basically a young adult, were you going out every weekend? What were your, obviously everybody had to hold a job and pay bills and yada, yada, yada. But
from like 13 to 16, 17, I was going out just when I could, basically when my parents would give me a ride, and it was always a passion, always a thing. And then of course you turn 18, move out, all that, and kind of lost it for a few years because of those, you get out partying and more concerned about the ladies and all that kind of stuff. So I lost it a little bit. And then I went to college and became a mechanic, ASE certified, and I did that for about 10 to 15 years. And I had a long line of, I'll just say, like, bad employers. It was kind of hard to get paid right. It was just really tough. And so I started thinking to myself, what can I do? What skills do I have?
Right.
And to, like, work for myself. Because that was the whole point, was get away from other people. Because you know how it is. I'm sure you guys work.
Oh yeah.
It's cannot be fun, especially as a mechanic. You just get walked on and not enough pay.
Well, that's the thing with Arrow is the job that he works at. He's had to deal with a lot of trials and tribulations with that whole situation. And I mean, when we went on our 9-day road trip, I heard about just the tip of the iceberg on the amount of shit that he has to deal with. And his profession is basically hand in hand. It's a blue collar job, and it's a tough thing to do, and it takes a special person to do it. And I can only imagine Arrow probably has a few things to say about the same exact situation. I don't know.
I'm plumber.
My dad was a plumber. Growing up, I was a plumber as well for a little stint. Plumber's no fun. I mean, service plumbers suck, right? You go out and you got to clean somebody's toilet. And
I do more than that, but yeah.
He does more than that, Josh. He does a lot more than that.
I've done it. My dad actually ended up contracting Hep C because sorry for the death shit. Because he had a snake thing splash into his eyeball.
Mm-hmm.
Hep C was in it, man.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Wow.
I've seen guys, customer doesn't tell you that they put muriatic acid in the sink to try to clear the drain, and they pull we go down and pull the P-trap unaware, and water gets on you and it eats through the clothes. And
bad stuff happens to plumbers. And then
my best advice, if you did that, tell the plumber.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess I'll get back to the point. A long string of bad stuff that started making me want to work for myself, and I started checking my skills. What can I do? And basically at that point, I was pretty adapted to researching and staking mining claims, and also dealing with the forestry, dealing with the public, dealing with everything that comes with it. And so, I kind of wet my feet with, started selling mining claims, and I made a pretty good name for myself because honestly, it's pretty easy in that industry. There's a lot of dirtbags that are selling mining claims, and I did things honestly, and people appreciated that. And I think that has a lot to do with why I am, at the spot that I am now.
No, and I'll have to agree with you 100% on dirtbags in the community. I mean, holy shit, we've had our fair share. I tell you what, man, and that's the thing too, is like, at the end of the day, you have all these messages and all these texts and calls and this, that, and the other, and you're going through everything you're doing everything you possibly can. And Once you kind of step back and you look at the bigger picture of things and this person and that person, it's clear as day with a lot of different individuals. And it takes time to be able to separate the problems from the community. You know what I mean? And the only way that you're able to do that is by having some sort of like backing. You have to be respectable. You have to be someone that looks at you and says, hey, you know what? I respect this individual and I respect what they're doing, because just because you try to weed out the assholes, I guess you could say, doesn't mean it's ever going to be successful. But having a backing and people who respect you and the things that you do, that takes care of the problem hand in hand. It's
Yeah, and every person who speaks well about you is another person that you're accountable to. Right?
Exactly.
And so along with that, that makes you, or I'll speak from my side, that makes me feel even more and more responsible to do the right thing. I talk people out of buying stuff all the time.
Correct. Yeah, you're upholding other people's words.
Oh, it's just a matter of honor, right? And if you do the right thing, that's how you get the right reputation.
No, and I agree, man. I agree. I mean,
but we all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. I'm not.
Well, yeah, everybody makes mistakes. I mean, but at the end of the day, does a massive corporation become a massive corporation because they did things the right way? Let's be honest.
No.
You know what I mean? That's the problematic aspect of.
Very true, man. And that's why at this point I'd have to thank God for his blessings, because I am where I am on, by acting honorable. And I believe that's the whole thing is, God's blessing.
And that's the thing with the community, man, is it all boils down to values, right? Yeah. If you don't have values to who you are, not only in the community, but as a human, as an individual in your own life, obviously you're not going to get very far in life. That's the reality of it, man. People could sit here and say, well, I could do this and I could do that and I can get, this, that, and the other. But how long does that last? How long does it really last? It never does. Yeah. It never lasts. And the reason being is because there's no values behind that individual. There's no respect behind that individual.
Yeah. Once the veil is unveiled, it's
then it's open season. It's open season. Right. You know what I mean? So, as far as that goes, and we've seen multiple individuals and this, that, and the other. And you kind of just sit back and you scratch your head and you say, okay, well, how am I going to go about this situation? How am I going to go about that situation? And at the end of the day, if you're bringing something to the community that's valuable, that's respected, that's honest, people are going to back that 100%. Every time. It'll never fail.
I actually have a lot of faith in the mining community, man. There's a lot of good people.
Massive amount of good people, man. Holy crap.
And that's the coolest thing about the RGM group that I have, and that's the coolest thing about it is you go out with outings and everybody's just so nice. Everybody, you get to meet people. I mean, I can probably name off 100 different people that have made friends through the group and the outings and
right.
And
well, that's how this all came to be.
That's exactly, dude, to a T, man. I mean, it came up, it started with a vision, and here we are today, well over 5,000 members, and we have well over 2,000 plus that are, huh?
I said, sorry, and quickly, too.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is if it's respectable, it's something that has values behind it, then, the people are going to back it because it is respectable. At the end of the day, if you look at the mining community of all the communities in this entire world, the mining community is so hard to get people to back you, to respect you.
It's
seriously.
We're a bunch of loners.
Well, we're a bunch of big-headed assholes too.
Exactly, man. And it's cool, right? Like a whole community of Type A personalities.
Yeah, and that's
hide from people, right? That's the whole thing. We want to go out in the woods, make money, and hide from people.
Well,
that's
I mean,
Well, and with the PB community, it's like we had this, like, when I first started it, man, like I was telling Arrow a few days ago, my very first vision of PB was, man, I'd really love to be able to share my experiences with someone else. I want them to have that. You know how you get that feeling where you see the gold in the pan after panning out 1 billion freaking pounds of black sand or this, that, and the other, and you see that gold and you're like, whoa, that's cool. Your very first time or your very second time,
Right.
like that euphoria feeling like, oh, I'm a badass now. I know where gold's at. You know what I mean? Like,
Pan.
yeah, and it's like, I want to
see it. It is like seeing it the first time.
Right, right. Well, it's never like that first hit, right? That first hit is just like,
That's-
wow, it's mind-boggling.
I don't know. A few weeks ago, there was a post I put up about some of the biggest gold that were the biggest gold I've ever found, which, you know, was only
Well,
1
there's
point.
a difference between
1
finding
point-
flour and
Well,
finding actual.
Well, it's just the next level, right?
No, I'm
First,
just-
I
I'm
want to
just fucking
find gold, and then,
I'm just fucking with
well,
you.
now I want to find more gold, and, well, now I want to find bigger gold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously. No, I agree, man. And that's kind of like the vision that we started with, and like, you know, bringing the giveaways in and like, you know, trying to make it a family thing, because at the end of the day, who do you go back to when you're having a bad day? Your family. Your friends, yeah, you got good friends that you've grown up for since childhood, yada, yada, yada. But who do you honestly go home to?
Yeah, I still call
family.
my mom, man. You know.
Well, I'm sure we all call our mom still. At least I hope so. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, you go back to your family, you go back to your wife, you go back to your kids. You might have had a fucked up day, but your kids and your wife's going to bring you back down, or bring you back up, essentially, to feeling better, you know. And with the PB family, that's exactly what we're trying to do, is just have a family to where, hey, reach out to me, man. I'll do the best I can to make your day a better day, or help your situation the best I can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyways, aside from me bumping my gums, so another big question I wanted to ask was, so once you started transitioning, what would you say? Would you say about your mid-20s is when you started transitioning to figure out, hey, you know what? I don't want to work for this asshole anymore. I want to do my own thing. You know, what can I do, or what is my best skill set that I can put out in the world and really get it to where I'm working for myself? When, you know, was it in the 20s? Was in your 20s, in your 30s? I mean,
Yeah, so what happened was I had a kid, you know, and that was 11 years ago. I'm 38 now, about to be 39 in a couple weeks. So yeah, man, probably what, 27, I think, is when I kind of was fed up with, you know, the normal 40-hour a week type job, or 40-hour, you know. So I just decided that I had to do it because I had a kid, and there was no way I was going to make it doing what I was doing. And then, of course, rent then was somewhat affordable, actually, here in California.
yeah, oh yeah, all across the United States, buddy.
Yeah,
I totally agree, man. Not too long ago, it was decently affordable.
right. And so this was right at that time, basically 2008, you know, and then the economy crashed right then.
Right.
But the good thing about that is gold price went up. And so I saw that, and I was like, well, shoot, I got skills there, and realized, you know, maybe that's my thing. I don't know. Let's give it a shot.
Right.
And I'm the kind of guy, man, if I'm swinging a hammer or something, I swing the biggest hammer I can find. And
Oh, yeah.
so I put it all into it, you know, and went all in, and made, you know, big money the first couple years.
I was going to say, I know for a lot of people watching, they're trying, you know, obviously everybody wants to do kind of the same thing. They want to work for themselves, but I've done a few podcasts, and I really wanted to jump on a couple of real juicy questions. The first one is, financially, with you working, you know, the 40-hour a week job, did you, once you got to that point, let me try to phrase this perfectly here. Once you got to that point, you said enough is enough. Did you have savings? Did you put in, did you start saving? Did you put in every dime and dollar you had to really take this thing off? Like, did you pull out a loan? Like, what were kind of the things you had to do to transition and get your foot fully in the door from working for, this company to working for yourself?
Well, so back then it was different. I guess I was more going on just dumb luck. I'll be honest. I didn't have anything to put into it, right? Young guy, young kids working a mechanic, making $1,800 a month, paying
Right.
$1,100 in rent.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so no, it totally is dumb luck. And I don't have an answer to tell someone else how to do it, for sure. But in my situation, it just seemed to evolve in this way that I couldn't stop it. Almost, it's just what happened to me.
Right.
But
So did you have some sort of capital
let
to
me
be able to?
not
Oh, go
much.
for it.
No, I get good tax returns with all the kids.
Those are nice.
Yeah, right.
Amen to that.
You're right. So that's kind of the capital I get these days, and still has always been that way.
Right.
But,
Right.
But to answer that question, as far as the ICMJ goes, I put a lot into it, basically everything. But it's something that's proven, right? It's not like a risk. It's just investment that needs to be done.
Correct.
So back in the day, it was dumb luck. Today, it's just what you have to do to run a business.
Right. No, I agree. And I mean, you taking over ICMJ that's a big step for you. That's a massive underhauling because, you got old timers that still to this day stick to themselves, still to this day have their own honey hole and this, that, and the other. And, they still go to ICMJ and read the magazine religiously because it's been around for so long. It's one of those things that, is extremely well respected in the community. You know what I mean? So you taking on that magazine, I'd imagine was probably a ton of pressure for you to, keep that tradition alive.
Well, that pressure's not let up.
I don't doubt it.
That's for sure. I'll tell you the truth. It's been a heck of a ride. I was nowhere near prepared as I thought I was.
Right.
You never are.
But like anything, I'm kind of one of those do it live guys. I just jump in and work it out and ask for forgiveness if I've done it wrong to customers,
Well,
So
yeah, go for it.
you have to do it to be successful in this situation. Being someone who's not familiar with designing a magazine and then just jumping right into it. I think for the past 3 months, we've actually designed the whole thing ourselves, basically.
Designing is tough.
Yeah, before that, Scott and Sally were with us, and they still are now, as far as if we have, questions or problems.
Right.
And I will say they're like the best people in the world. They made it possible for us. And without them and their continued support to this day, it'd be, we'd be flat down, face down in the mud.
You'd have pages that didn't have shit on them. No.
Here you go, guys.
Yeah. What's in this issue? Well,
Just a little sorry.
Sorry. Wait till next issue. No, that's the funny thing about designing, and I'm glad you brought that up. It's like the average everyday human, the average everyday person, when they see artwork in something that's been designed, realistically speaking, they don't really know what all goes into it. It's extremely tough. It's extremely grueling. Everything has to be pinpoint precise, and you have your people and your naysayers that, well, it doesn't have to be precise. We're all miners and prospectors. At the end of the day, when you have a business aspect to something, it does have to be, because if it isn't, then it doesn't look like it's being taken truthfully or respectfully. It doesn't look like it's being taken seriously. And people point those things out. Social media in today's day and age, of all things in our lives that we all live, is a massive majority of a lot of different things, whether it's monetary sales, whether it's proper promotion, whether it's proper exposure. I mean, that's just the gist about it, So with the designing aspect, it's like things have to be right. Things have to be, you really do have to take your time with a lot of things, and especially that.
I've already screwed up so many things. We go back after it's in print, we look at it, and it's like,
fuck, here we go.
I see like my email on the last issue. It said Josh at ICMJ. No.com. How did I do that?
It's those late nights you stay up trying to fucking get shit done when you should get some sleep and do it fucking properly.
But up all night, I forgot something.
I know.
I don't even notice it. It's other people that tell me, and that's even more embarrassing.
Oh, man.
But on that subject, I'd like to introduce you guys to Mike. I think he's out here still. He's the guy I hired for design.
I'm the guy that left off the .com.
Yeah, here he is.
This guy is the culprit.
Yeah.
Mr. Mike. My goodness. No, it's good to meet you, man. And it's awesome that Josh brought you onto the podcast.
Thanks.
Now, from here on out, if you leave the .com, we're going to have problems, okay? No. No, I appreciate all what you do, man. I really do appreciate all what you do.
Mike's the backbone of this. I'll tell you what, we've been through some hard times. He's stuck with us in situations where other people may not have.
And we appreciate you. We
Yeah,
appreciate you for what you're
This
doing,
is
man.
when I kind of got able to do more creative work. So it's on this issue right here.
Phenomenal.
So 92nd anniversary. That's when I started on it. So
Absolutely phenomenal, man.
And this guy's 60 years old.
Well, I think we got about another 30 years out of you, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's good to meet you, brother. It's good to meet you.
Everybody.
It's good to meet you indeed. No, that's awesome, man. I mean, like I said, I was talking to you, pre-show and talking to you before we had you on the podcast, and ICMJ is awesome, man. It's a massive staple, and it's only going to get bigger, man. I mean, that magazine has so much informational knowledge that it's only going to get bigger and better, man. And especially if you got a new publicist that's able to really do the designing and the artwork for you and the alignment and things like that, that's awesome. And the fact that he stuck with you is even better. That means that you have someone who's going to be by your side to make sure that when things get rough, shit still gets done.
Exactly.
Those are the people you keep near and dear to you, because you don't find those people. Those are 1 in a million.
My point exactly. And that's the whole thing. Anytime something gets tough, like, there's an answer.
No, I totally agree. Man.
I feel just blessed to be the steward of it all. Does that make sense?
Or the guy who has so much stress but still enjoys it.
That's true. But I also the light at the end of the tunnel. It'll get better.
Yeah.
As it gets better, the magazine will get better. We've got a lot of big plans, especially for the people who advertise with us.
Right.
Our magazine, the website gets like 30,000 visits every month.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That is because they're going there to look at the Mind Market ads, which are free for people to look at.
Yeah. Right, right.
We're going to start expanding because we have that traffic, and we're going to find ways to make that better for the people that advertise for us, the people that want to read the magazine, everything. We're going to bring this thing into 2022 and blow it out. We're going to do it.
Dude,
right.
You have endless opportunity, bro. And the nice thing is the way that the market is and the way that everything that's going on right now, as far as like supply and demand and just everything going on right now, you're such in a niche market with really getting people on good ground and being able to experience their first bits of gold. You know what I mean? So you have that ample opportunity. Just don't miss the .com on the next issue, or else I'm going to point that out.
I'm never going to tell you about a mistake. Oh, wait, wrong thing. There it is.
Oh, man. No, I mean, like I said, what you're doing with the magazine and whatnot is awesome, man. I mean, obviously, we'd love to be in the magazine some point in time. Some point in time on this issue or
That's
that issue.
actually real quick. Sorry to interrupt. That's something that we're gonna do is add a page in the magazine for YouTubers, right?
Right.
And obviously it'd be a paid ad. People have to pay to be in it. But there's no type of social media references, really. There's no type of YouTube podcast type of advertisement in the magazine as of
Right.
now. And so we're going to add that, and of course, we'll get you in there, definitely.
No, that'd be awesome, man. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, with what you're doing with ICMJ is freaking awesome, dude. And being able to further get people on to good ground and really get people out and off the tablets and phones and computers and shit like that. Like, that's all what we're pushing for. Every single one of us are pushing for that same freaking thing, And
Yeah.
I mean, COVID, the whole COVID situation with things being locked down, the funny thing about that is you saw a big boom in the community. You saw people going outdoors and camping, and they've never camped before, and going out fishing and yada yada yada. So it really has helped the community in a sense, because if you take a very good look at the last 5 to 6 or 5 to 7 years, a lot of things became somewhat dormant. And the reason being is because it was just the same old dance and song over and over and over by the same individuals. But bringing new stuff to the community and really reaching out to people one-on-one and individually talking to them and saying, hey, man, we can get you on good ground, super cheap, affordable. What you spend on fast food, we can get you out there. You can bring your family.
Just yourself for one meal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, I mean, being able to, we did the group dig back east. We charged $15 a person, super cheap, super simple. We had a bunch of people show up. They absolutely loved it. They were able to learn on a high banker, on a dredge, meals. I mean, it was just a phenomenal outcome. A lot of people absolutely enjoyed it, and I'm sure they'll be back next year because it was such a phenomenal outcome. And that's where it should be in the community. You know what I mean? It's not about mining the miners. And I'll bring this up real quick, and then we'll keep going forward. Is I heard a really good story, and this was a damn good story. I forgot if I remember right, the guy's name was Dennis. He's in the history books. If I remember right, his name was Dennis. He was an immigrant. He came over when the California gold rush was happening. He had a massive supply on denim. Massive supply on denim. Massive, absolutely massive.
Like,
he got it. No, it was just flat out denim. At the time, it wasn't like, he was with Levi or Wrangler or yada yada yada. He had
you're talking about like jeans material.
Yeah, jeans material. Okay. Yeah, so he had a massive input on being able to get it super, super cheap. And he realized, hey, miners need these because they're durable. Right. They get on their knees, they go into caves, they get scratched up, roughed up. And I forgot who told me this story, but he went over and he made a killing. He was multi-million-dollar. I mean, and at the time, $1 million was out of this world. It was more than the richest person to this day is worth. I mean, but he figured out, hey, if I mine the miners, yada, yada, yada. Well, unfortunately, he actually died early on, and the reason being, it was either, I know someone's going to rip me apart for this one. I'm sure of it. It was like cancer or something within the body, to where like 5 years later, after he amassed all this money, he ended up dying prematurely. And then obviously in the 1900s, this became a big thing. And here we have Levi, Wrangler, blah, 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 blah. But what I'm saying is, the folks that aren't putting in things respectably in the community don't last long. And they never have. Even since the 1800s, with the story I just said, they don't last long, whether it be something from the man above or it be from social media. I mean, no matter what it is, at the end of the day, You look at all the movies. Villains don't last long. Do they really last long?
Well,
No.
movie's a movie, but you're
But
right.
yeah, but what I'm
In
saying
real life,
in real life,
the
exactly.
hard thing is to have the patience to watch it play itself out, right? That's the
That's the
hard.
scary reality of it. That's the scary reality of it because you see
Yeah.
someone go on social media or this, that, and the other, and they say, "Oh, well, this is what I'm selling. This is what I got, yada, yada, yada." And then 10 days later, by golly, this person's like, "Oh, this person hasn't responded." Well, you wonder why, dude. Was the
Yeah,
guy respected? Was the guy credited? No. Well,
exactly.
okay.
It's like when
You
you get a phone call and like, hey, your car insurance, or I'm sorry, the car warranty has run out. Would you like to do that? No.
yeah,
I'd like
exactly.
It's like ordering from Wish.com.
Amen
What
to
was
that
that?
shit.
What.com?
Wish.
Oh, don't know about
Yeah. No.
With thewish.com, so check it out. I know every fucking person on this YouTube watching right now knows what Wish is, right? So you go on Wish and you say, "Hey man, I'd love to really order this cool Star Wars figurine," right? And it's showing like this big. And typically they're like $800, right? And someone's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get over on the industry and I'm gonna get a nice Star Wars figure," right? Well, it
Right.
shows up and it's only this big.
Well, yeah, I mean that's like buying gold nuggets on eBay, right?
Yeah, that's same thing.
They take
They're all blown up. Yeah.
fill them in, and it just says photo enlarged to show texture, but they're like, we didn't tell you it's like times 500.
Right.
Yeah.
And people get it. And yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's just one of those things, but anyways, we're kind of off subject here. We'll jump back into subject real quick. The second question that I wanted to ask was, once you made that jump, right, you decided, screw this, I'm not doing 40 hours a week for this company, for this person, yada, 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 right?
Yeah.
You decided, I'm jumping over, I'm done. How were you feeling, man? What was going through your mindset? What were you talking to, or what conversations were you having with your old lady? Like, was she full blown aboard with you, or was she like, "Hey, man, you can screw everything up if you really jump ship"? You know what I mean? What were kind of those things going on?
In my case, I'll say I'm lucky. My wife's always been 100% trusting,
Right.
especially with those things. But I
Right.
think that comes along with the fact that I've never failed, too, right?
That's terrifying.
As far as paying the rent goes, I'm not
Oh,
saying.
I was gonna say, I don't think any of us have failed doing that. That's for damn sure.
I mean, as far as paying the bills and rent goes.
Yeah.
She knew that as far as she was concerned, she was going to be taken care of because she had the faith in me.
Right.
So at that point, I'll be honest, man, I kind of kept a lot of the stress, a lot of the changes, a lot of it out of my wife's and kids' lives, because that's what a man does, right? You shield them from that so that
Yeah.
they can be happy and live that life that you want to give them, right? So I
agree.
kind of took it all on myself. And she is such a great woman that she allowed me to do that. Does that make sense?
No, I totally agree. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really hard to be able to find a we'll just say girlfriend or wife that'll be able to allow you to go through with a lot of ventures. And I think a lot of guys that it's even watching right now, a lot of us, we have that great idea and we wish that we could go through with it. But at the end of the day, it's hard to make that jump. I've talked with Yukon Alley. I've talked with so many people on the podcast about making that jump, that massive jump. And that's the thing is a lot of them are like, "Hey, my husband or my wife was on board. They were ready to see what happens. And if everything works out for the better, then we're in such a good place."
Yeah, I think that in order to even start success in that jump, that has to be the case.
Right. I agree.
Unless
It
unless
starts
you're
at home.
alone. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It starts at home.
Exactly. No, it's 100% true. Just like anything in life. If home is messed up, everything else will be messed up. If home is good, you've got a lot of strength to go out in the world and face it,
Well,
That's-
and I totally agree with that. I mean, I don't know how many different things. I mean, everybody can relate to this. What I'm saying is everybody has a job that they go to, They either get up at midnight or they get up at 5 in the morning, whatever the case may be, right? Everybody gets up, they put in the hours, they go home, enjoy the time with their wife, their kids. They do the same thing Monday through Friday, right? There's always that little tiny flame inside you that say, "Hey, this is such a phenomenal idea, and I know that I can make it to a point where we can live off of this and still benefit people," but it never is able to go through because why? A, they're being insecure about that situation. They're too scared to see what's going to happen on the other side of that veil. And B, they don't have their full support back at home. That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
So,
and not only that, but to add to what you said about them being scared, like I said, it's about swinging the biggest hammer you can find. If you're going to do something, then do it, you know? And if you have the backing to create yourself a financial, you know, how do I say it? A financial way of making sure that if what you're doing fails, then you're still okay, then great, great. But honestly, most of us don't.
90% of the time we don't. Right. Correct.
Right. And so, in order to make that jump, everybody's like, oh, how do you do it? How do you do it? Here's the answer. The answer is set aside all the fear, make sure that what you're doing isn't just based on ego, right? It's not based on anything that's negative. It's based on the right things, which would be to grow your family, to do a good service to your patrons, and make sure that you do it well with honor. And if you have those goals truly, then you better swing the biggest hammer. Don't let fear control anything, because then that 20 or 30% that you're holding back out of fear, you know, is what it takes for success.
And what it takes to get over that leap. Exactly.
Right. You know, and you can't be afraid of failure. It wasn't just maybe 6 years ago. Me and my family spent 9 months in living in a fifth wheel, you know, in a family's backyard because, you know, we sold our house, which was an okay situation, made money, but it was too expensive around here to buy and yada, yada, yada.
Right.
5 of us living in this thing, which was a really tough time, you know. And these things happen. That was just 5 or 6 years ago for me, you know. So, but I never like feared it. It's just another step in the process. Well, you got to look at it. As long as you're fed, as long as you have good family, like you're saying, as long as things are good at home, you have comfort there.
Amen.
And you go home to that and you know everybody's happy and doing well. Then the rest of it you can kind of like let go of and put all into it, you know? And
Right.
it took years and years and years and years of me going through that same type of struggle to get where I am now. It's not easy at all.
Right.
You know, finances and things in the past that probably are not nowhere near as good as people would expect they have been for me, I'd imagine.
Well, and that's the thing too, is the mining community. It's today more than ever. It's hard as hell. It's hard as hell.
Yeah, we're all broke.
I was gonna say it's hard as hell, man. I mean, I've been able to establish phenomenal connections all across the United States and things like that. But at the end of the day, when you go home and you look at your personal finances, it's like, okay, well, can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do this? And you basically base what you're allowed to do for the time being for your next season, you know, until you get to an establishment where you're able to say, well, you know what, I want to do all of these things, and then you go and do them. But 90% of the time, the majority of the community cannot do that, you know, and a lot of the community as well, they don't want to do that. They just want to go out for the weekend.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
And a lot of that's out of fear because 90% of the community want to work. They would love to have a job gold mining somehow, right? Like more than 90%.
You know, I'm sure part of it is that, you know, even if you can get around, you know, the jump, the fear of the jump, the realization that you're going to be away from that family for substantial amounts of time if you're
Yeah.
really putting in the hours. That becomes a factor too.
Agreeable, totally agreeable. I mean, look at it this way. If you get offered a place where you're going to make $100,000 a year operating equipment, or even managing equipment, but the downside to that is you're away from your family for 6 months out of the year. That plays a big part, because if you're close to your daughters, you're close to your sons, you're close to your wife, you're close to your family, your brothers, your sisters. You guys do cookouts every weekend, this, that, and the other. But this one thing's tugging on you and saying, "Hey, man, this would make your family, it bring you to such a better place." You got to make that jump, and that jump, I think, for a lot of folks is extremely hard. I mean, we interviewed, what's that guy's name? Fred. We interviewed Fred. Fred was a good example. COVID had struck. Him and his wife both worked, 40, 50 hours a week. They busted their ass. COVID struck.
Fred Dickinson.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Fred Dickinson from Dickinson Mine over there back east. Thank you, Arrow. My goodness, I would have been chopped to pieces for that one. Jesus.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, you're good. Fred Dickinson, we had him on an interview, and he spilled his heart out, and he said, "Look," he said, "making it a business is not an easy thing to do." He said, "Both me and my wife had full-time jobs, careers, not just jobs, careers. They were making beyond good money. COVID hit. They both lost their jobs. They were part of cuts." And the only thing that was hanging in the balance for Fred literally was a claim that he had bought, that him and his son would go out and spend time on the weekends. And they were getting pretty good gold. And so Fred thought, okay, well,
Heck.
yeah, what do we do? Okay, so, he put a half-ass lawnmower together on this massive trommel and paid their bills. And now he's doing extremely well, and that's the sacrifice, all of us don't ever have. We don't have that point where it's like, well, we don't have a job, let's go gold mine. It's, well, we still have a job, we still pay shit, but we'd love to do this, but I'm too scared to make that jump. You know what I mean?
And that jump is made in faith, man. You gotta have faith in something, whatever it is. That jump is it's scary as hell. I mean, still to this day, I have sleepless nights. Last night I slept, because I made sure of it with some melatonin. But
no, I agree.
But it's tough even still for me today. It's just the way it works as a human, and I mean, everybody's that way these days, because it's just stress. Everything's 3 times the cost of it, what it was 10 years ago, including rent, mortgages, houses, everything.
No,
I anymore? No, not at all.
Yeah.
Most people are making less because their employers have cut their wages because they have to. Sorry. Harley. Probably should have shut the window.
No, you're good. But yeah, no, that's the crazy thing about today's day and age is, a lot of different weekend warriors and folks that do want to bring their kids out to awesome, amazing places, picture captivating type of places. They don't want to pay an arm and a leg, and they want to be able to go through an experience. They want to be able to have some gold, something tangible they can bring home and say, you know what, this was well worth my money because I met extremely awesome individuals and made connections that otherwise I wouldn't make in my own hometown.
And that's one thing Prospecting Buddy is doing that I really respect is, it's sort of a new idea. I've been on the Facebook mining scene for quite a while, and it's always just sort of like regional, California, Nevada,
Right.
Maybe hard rock mining and placer mining or Yuba River, or, it's like regional.
Right.
And what you have is sort of fresh. It really is kind of the first of its own type that I've seen. At least one that's successful.
Well, and I appreciate that. And the reason being, like I was saying, goes all the way back to the original idea is like, I want other people to enjoy what I'm enjoying. If I'm going to go find gold or even rock hounding, like I want other people to enjoy that, and it's spread into this love of the PB family where, these people in this state's like, hey man, count me in. Let's do a group dig over here. Let's get people together. Let's do a cookout, enjoy the food that's in this state or that state, and let's just make it an amazing thing. You know what I mean? And it's been a surreal experience for me, people reaching out to me and saying, hey, I have this little problem over here. Could you help me out? And then I call them and we get things figured out. And now they're good friends with this individual or that, it's been such a positive outcome for multiple different areas that, it humbles me every day. If I have a fucked up day at work and I'm like, screw this guy, screw that guy, yada, 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 then I got, and Arrow knows, yeah, he's laughing over there.
It's like every day though, right?
Yeah.
By the end of the day, you're like, yeah, fuck that guy.
It's gotten, yeah, me, thanks. No, it's gotten to that, because of how big we've gotten. But I mean, at the end of the day, I reach out to my peers. I reach out to my family. I reach out to Arrow. I reach out to Rob, reach out to Tina. We have a conference call we do. I mean, we talk consistently on new ideas and things we can do to help with this situation or that situation. And at the end of the day, I mean, it puts me in such a humbling experience because it's like the original thought was I need people or I want people in my life where I can enjoy their company, and being able to enjoy all of these different individuals' company and their little backgrounds and where they come from and what they bring to the table. And it's just so humbling, man. It's such a good feeling.
And hearing stories from around the different parts of the country, anywhere from the Arkansas crystal mining and diamond mining to gold in California and gold in Alaska, Idaho, Montana, and now you have the ability to be like, yeah, I think I'm going to cruise up there, and you just reach out and somebody will take you out. It's not a big deal. You don't have to.
Yeah, especially if you're a single guy, in the mining community. I mean, or a dude who can travel if you have family, which for me, I don't much. I stick with my wife and kids like all the time. We go somewhere, we're going together.
Same here.
Yeah. To me, that's just how I do it. But if you're, a single guy who can get involved, man, the opportunities are endless. You just got to be a nice guy. That's all people want.
Well, and at the end of the, oh, go for it, Arrow.
I was just saying, and people don't realize, yes, it's a lot of work to find a little bit of gold, but you either love it or you hate it. But at the same time, you get to see things. You get to see things that not everybody gets to see.
God, I wish I had a video or an audio clip of Rob McGuire on our 9-day trip. I love that guy to death. I seriously love that guy. He is just such a phenomenal guy. And every hump we went over in Idaho, every mountain was like, whoa, you guys see that? Whoa, look at that. I've never seen that before. And he's over in Ohio, so it's new to him. It's new to him. So, every hump, every hill, every this, every that, he's just like, that is badass. I'm like, yeah, dude.
Beautiful scenery.
Beautiful. That was his catchphrase. Yeah. Beautiful scenery over here. Yeah. So, being able to do that for other people, it gets you so excited because you can't pay for that. You can't buy that. It's something in this world and in God's creation. It's something that is earned, so being able to earn that with PB consistently, dude, it's phenomenal, man. And, with like our podcast, bro, it's like the reason why we started the podcast is so that people can also enjoy getting to know all these different individuals. Because social media, you can see someone post and say this, that, and the other, but you really don't get to know that individual and where they started and where their mind's at and things like that. You know what I mean? You really don't. But with the podcast and the questions and everything that we got going on, you're able to really dig deeper into that human and really see what that person's about, tried and true. You know what I mean?
Live interaction is always different than a planned video.
Well, and that's the thing. You're not the first. I've had a lot of people that are like, okay, well, is it pre-recorded? And I'm like, unfortunately and fortunately, no, because we like to have live interaction. We want to talk to Don, Kent, Sergio, Tina,
Plus, it
Rick,
saves you time
Andrew.
on editing, right?
Well, yeah, let's agree on that. Editing is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Arrow knows that. I should have had a bunch of things done, and I'm still behind the ball game on it. But you know what? It'll get done eventually, right? So
I'm not worried about it.
good, because I'm not either. No, I'm just kidding.
No, he's worried about it.
Yeah, I'm always stressed about it.
He's worried about it. That's why I'm not worried about it.
Always
'Cause
fan pointing.
he's stressing for both of us.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll go ahead. Let's go on a quick break, real quick. We'll do the 5-minute break. Rob, I saw you post in the very beginning. If you want to post those links for Mr. Josh Reinke in the comment section while we do our 5-minute break.
And we might be having a announcement. We might have another dig going on. I don't know. We might talk a little bit
so
about
we got
that.
2 things. That's right. We got something to give away. Actually, let me hide the label here. We got one of those to give away. And then we also have an announcement.
I mean, what?
That was a horrible face, dude.
Yeah.
Now I just screwed up my camera. My camera's like, go on break, bro.
Yeah, what happened?
Jesus. Yeah, my camera's like, yep, you're done. Go take a piss, buddy. Yeah,
I need to so bad.
I just screwed it up. Here we go.
You're definitely easier to look at.
There we go.
Oh.
Look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm easier to look at. Thanks. I
I'm gonna
appreciate
order
it.
now, though.
Oh, okay. So, so let's go ahead and do a 5-minute break real quick. Make sure you stay around. We got a lot more good questions, very juicy questions to ask Mr. Josh Reinke. For anybody that's wondering about Reinke Mining Services, Rob just posted the link down there in the comments. The other link too, Rob. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure you're going to get on that. I'm just messing with you, Rob. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump on a 5-minute break real quick. Restroom, grab your drinks, whatever you got to do. Smoke a cigarette. I don't care. We will be back in 5 minutes with a bunch more juicy stuff. Sound good?
All right, guys. See you soon.
All right, fellas. See you guys in 5 minutes. Welcome back to the second half of the podcast with Mr. Josh Reinke and co-host
Good
Errol
afternoon.
Bremer. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I actually almost finished a whole burrito, believe it or not, within 5 minutes. It was pretty crazy.
I know,
I'm not surprised.
I got just like a bite left. That's about all she wrote. But welcome back, guys. I want to go ahead and go through a few comments here. We got some really, really good comments coming across all of the pages, YouTube, Facebook, and, of course, StreamYard. First and foremost, let's see here. We got Raymond Correz. This is hello, PBs. Hope you and your families are well. Yes, indeed, and I appreciate the support, brother, man. English Gold Prospectors in the building. We got Joseph Bossy. Man, again, thank you for your help, your dedication with the group dig back east. Absolutely appreciate you, man. Really, really do. You are a phenomenal guy, and I can't wait to meet you next season when I get over there. Matthew Rudisil. Let's talk about gold now, is what he said on the first half. Well, I think we managed that. Good to have you here, brother, man. Let's see here. Kent Dowd is in the building. Good to have you here, brother, man. We did have a question here from Mr. Joseph Bozzi. He said, how would I get the magazine? He says, New Hampshire does not exist. Josh, we got to get him the magazine, bro.
Well, I mean, what do you mean? I'm confused. New Hampshire does not exist?
No. Okay, no, let me rephrase that because now that I'm reading it, it's kind of. He said, how would I get the magazine? He's based in New Hampshire.
Oh, I see. You just go to ICMJ.
Not bad.
It's fine. I just was
You're like, wait,
the right
New
thing.
Hampshire doesn't exist?
Holy shit. No, so you can just go to icmj.com. It's that simple, and it's pretty easy to find where to subscribe. If not, then you can just call us at 831-479-1500.
You're supposed to have that number memorized by now.
I'm supposed to do a lot of things.
I'm going to put that number down there in the comments for everybody. And then we also have both links. We have the link to his Facebook page, and we also have a link to the website. Pretty straightforward. If you just go through the comments, you can go ahead and take a look. Joseph said, I was being a smartass. Well, I just helped you out with you being a smartass. I didn't know you were being a smartass, but hey, now you know where to get the magazine, brother, man.
There you go.
Let's see here. Rob McGuire. Good to see you, brother, man. As usual, Jason AU, Colorado. He says, it would be hard to do that. Depends on what it's worth to you and keep you and your family in and all. And that, of course, plays back to what we were talking about in the first segment, is making the jump. So anyway, so aside from that, let's see here. Andrew Converse is in the building. Good to see you, brother, man. So Arrow, if you would like to announce what we got going on officially for the PB family real quick before we jump into the goodies, that would be awesome, man. I'd appreciate it.
I do believe the dates October 6th, 7th, and 8th.
7th and 8th.
7th and 8th. Friday, Saturday. We're going to be doing a PB dig in southwestern Colorado on Wesley Morang's claim. Ruthless Fortune, I do believe. I think that's it. Raymond Correz and Andrew Converse are going to be our representatives there and helping everybody get organized. We're going to be getting a flyer out here soon. So if you're in Colorado or want to come dig in Colorado, those are the dates. We're going to be posting information here soon. And get it. You can high bank, you can dredge, whatever you want, I do believe. So should be exciting. And I've seen a picture of the claim. It's pretty nice. It's a beautiful spot.
Well, in fact, what I'll do here is I'll go ahead and grab one. But in the meantime of me grabbing one, I want to further iterate a few different things here with the group dig. Obviously, as you know, it's going to be with the PB family. Raymond Correz, Wes, awesome, phenomenal individuals. And like I said, it's over there in Colorado. That's what Arrow was saying. But it's going to be awesome. You'll be able to get on a high banker, be able to get on a dredge. If you're just going there to pan, whatever the case may be, you have all those options. I was supposed to make a flyer before the podcast to go ahead and represent it. But unfortunately, that just didn't happen because, well, I have kiddos, I got a wife, and I got too much shit going on in my life. That's the reality of it. But yeah, so anyways, so what I'll do here in the next 5-10 minutes is I'll post up the photo of the spot over in Colorado. Phenomenal people, phenomenal place. If you could make it, October 7th, October 8th. We're going to make sure that there is a good giveaway that's going to go on. We're going to have a few other things added to it, just like we did the Back East group dig. But yeah, so anybody that's over there in Colorado that wants to get out before the season ends, grab some gold, bring some home. This will be your opportunity. So definitely do not miss out on this opportunity. That's for damn sure. Oh, also, actually, that reminds me, Michael Crawford. Yeah, so I totally spaced it. And I apologize, Michael. We also have another group dig over in Arizona. I'm gonna break your finger the next time you fucking see me. I'm gonna break both. No, I'm gonna break both of your fingers. Yeah, Jesus. Oh man, Mister, you call me Mr. Rusty. Jesus. Michael, I apologize. No, we have also another group dig over in Arizona. Michael Crawford. It is on GPA land. It's going to be an absolutely phenomenal dig. If you're a GPA member, that's right up your alleyway. Michael Crawford is going to be our sponsor for that group dig. It's going to be based out in Arizona. Absolutely phenomenal. I haven't given you much details on either of the group digs. Mind you, in the next few weeks, we will have flyers done, situated, ready to rock and roll. Let's see. Rob says a PV member who just wants to have an outing for us and meet other PV members and new people. That's exactly where it is, right on the money. Terry Fife, he also has something absolutely phenomenal going over there that we'd love to have the PV family come and join. It's going to be over in North Carolina, Fall Whitewater, AU Awesome. I fuck that up every time. AU some November 18th and 20th. So, mind you, if you don't remember Arrow, you know what, motherfucker? If you oh, man. Anyways, if you don't have those dates situated, obviously I'm talking quite. Okay, see y'all later. No, if you guys don't have those dates in your calendars and you guys weren't under oh my gosh, dude. Wow. If you guys weren't able to understand what I was saying, obviously in the next 2 weeks, we're going to have all the, Jesus. And then now y'all are fucking me up. Now I'm trying to be serious now. Now it's just blown out the water now.
Now you expect me to be serious too when you ask me questions. Yeah?
No, I try not to be. Oh, Raymond just put the finger. Oh, okay. He's pointing toward me. Oh, lovely. Oh, Rick's joining in. Okay, join on in. Put it my way. My golly. No, if you guys don't have the dates from me talking a little fast, that's because we try to put as much juicy stuff in one podcast as possible. But in the next few weeks, we'll definitely have the promotional flyers going out for everybody to have the exact coordinates, the dates, the yada, 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 all the goodies entailed into it. So we have one with Terry. We have one with Michael Crawford. And we also have one with Raymond Correz and Wes and the phenomenal folks over there in Colorado. So with that being said, in the next few weeks, just be on the PV page as you already are, and you'll see the dates. You'll see the flyer. But with that being said, let's get back into the juicy content here that I'd love to pick your brain for. So once you decided to jump over to Reinke Mining or Reinke Mining Services, you know, it doesn't matter.
It was actually called Nevada County Mining at that point.
So originally it started as that. And let's talk about that a little bit and, you know, kind of figure out where it transversed into what it is today.
Well, that's a Got any specific questions? Maybe
Okay, so I apologize. So specifically, you decided, your wife agreed with you. Hey, let's go ahead and jump over to this. Let's start doing this. And like you said, it's working phenomenally for you. Luck played a big part into it, like you said, I'm sure.
Bless
And
oh, man.
yep, that's right. The man above. But particularly what I'm asking, I guess you could say, is you decided to jump into the business aspect of things, right? You no longer were you still working that other job? Did you just instantly cut off at the hip that other job and start doing the new business, or did you use that money from the old business, some of it, to be able to help fund what you were trying to create?
So this was 2008 when the what they call it, the Great Recession, or I don't know, some kind of recession.
Million different names.
Yeah, right. So when that hit, basically, I worked as a mechanic and they laid me off. They had laid off multiple people before me. Kind of, we all knew it was coming, and so the economy really pushed me into it. But the thing that I guess how I got lucky is that when the economy goes bad like that, it only takes about a year for a gold price to spike so high that the interest in gold mining goes up. We have bound copies of the ICMJ. In fact, here's one right here from 1940. Oh,
Wow, holy crap.
yeah, and so we have them from 1940 all the way until 1998.
Right.
And so we looked through all these, and anyway, I forgot why I was bringing up the bound copies.
Well, you were bringing up the whole situation with transitioning from the old business to the new business and gold fluctuation prices.
Right. So that's my point, is you can look at the bound copies, and until about 1980 something, early 80s, they were all about the same thickness that I just showed you. But once the 80s hit, there was another great recession, I suppose, and the magazine got 2 to 3 times thicker, actually.
Right.
Right. And so it's really cool to see the, like, I don't know, it's sort of a map of the economy. And
The fluctuation. Right.
right, because gold price follows, well, it does the opposite of the dollar, right? And the dollar drops, gold price goes up.
Goes up. Right.
Right. So you can see that reflection in the thickness of the magazines, and so at that point in 2008, when I decided to take that leap, it was the right time. And again, that was just luck. And so we did really good first couple years, and I started getting more into actual consulting, to where we'd help people basically deal with the forestry to get their claims permitted on a small level, testing levels.
Right.
And so I moved into a lot of that. I moved into a lot of locating claims for people, different things, and it was just a huge success from the beginning. And so I've transitioned out of a lot of that because I feel like, I don't know, I'm just climbing the ladder. I feel like
I agree.
the group is a better way to represent my skills than it is just, as people say, flipping claims.
No, I agree. I mean, you made a decision that was going to better your position for your family and financially, and that's an agreeable thing that I think anybody can agree on. I mean, at the end of the day, if it's benefiting your children and your wife and your life back at home, then that's something that you have to do to better the future for them.
And to add to that, to be honest, man, the biggest thing that I'm the most grateful for is that I have spent a ton of time with my kids and my wife through this. I've always worked from home for the past 13 years. Now we have an office, which I'm in right now, small part of it. Maybe I'll pick up the laptop, take you guys for a tour later. It's pretty cool in here. But so I always had that office at home, and even this office I have now is about 2 minutes away from home. And that's my style, right? Stay close to the family, keep them close. And my kids know who I am. Whereas if I was doing everything I've done outside of my home for, say, someone else, you know, it'd be a lot different of a situation at home. You know,
Right.
so that's the
Oh yeah.
biggest blessing that I can come up with, you know, through everything is the fact that I've been able to be at home, you know, with my family and be a part, be a father, be a husband.
Dude, it boils down to being a family. At the end of the day, you know, when you take on vows for a marriage, you're taking on vows to make sure that they're taken care of emotionally, physically, and spiritually.
Yeah,
You know
man.
what I mean? And regardless of what you do financially, still has to play in all three of those parts regardless. You
Yeah.
know, so, you know, being able to be so close by your family is such a blessing. Being able to make sure that they're still taken care of and you're there on a drop of a dime if need be
Yeah.
is an extra awesome, phenomenal bonus to make sure that, you know, what you're doing is, you know, what you're doing is the right thing.
And you know, that's my suggestion is if you have a passion for something, whether it be mining, whether it be anything, really, um, don't be afraid, you know, to swing that hammer. Swing it when it's your turn. Like I had no plans for anything that's happened to me. It's just all come, right? It's all come to me at the right time when I was ready to receive it. And if you keep yourself ready, oh, sorry, I keep hitting the table. But if you keep yourself in that position and in your mind and open to that, then I don't see how you can go wrong. You
I don't,
know,
yeah, and I don't see how you could fail. I mean, look at it this way: you have specific ideas in mind, you have specific ways things can work, and specific ways things can't work. And I mean, unfortunately, the vast majority fail because they don't have certain things in place to help them advance to be able to succeed.
I think they quit early.
And
That's
that's,
my point. You know,
well, exactly.
is failing is quitting, right?
Right.
Until you've quit, you've not failed. I guess it's that simple.
Well, I mean, it really is at the end of the
You
day.
know?
I mean, I can sit here and say, well, I could try to do
I
this and
know
try
I
to
could
do
roll
that.
it too. I could too. I get it. I could too.
Yeah.
But in the end, that's I believe you know the big difference.
But
The big
that's the thing, Josh. That's the nice thing, though, is at the end of the day, folks like us and folks like yourself is able to keep that tradition alive, and people who don't want to make that jump. They're okay with their life. They're happy with their life. They're happy with their career. They're happy with everything going on in their life. And all they would love to be able to do is reach out to other people in their area and have that same experience. And that's perfectly okay, you
yeah,
know. And
takes all types, man. Without them, we wouldn't exist.
no, we wouldn't. Prospecting Buddy wouldn't. I mean, when you hear Prospecting Buddy, and I've said this a million times, and Arrow can attest to this, when you hear Prospecting Buddy, you're talking about your dog, you're talking about your brother, your sister, your wife, your friend. You're talking about somebody who goes out with you, goes through that adventure, and you both enjoy it. Whether it's 3 days for the first 9 days raining and everything's wet as shit, and Rob's pissed off and we're all hungry, we still we still enjoyed every second of it, and we
Yeah, man, just come prepared for those moments, and you're good. To go.
well,
Like
and that's
you know, that's what you need.
100%, 100%. I know, yeah, you're right, but
Yeah.
you know, it's just those experiences as you go through life, you know, and what we all enjoy to do is rock out and gold and yada yada yada. You know,
Yeah.
all those extra little experiences and the endurance and all the stuff that plays the part in that brings back to the fact that when you're all done and said about it, you would do it again in a heartbeat because it was that fun. It was that exciting. Arrow, honest question, live. Would you do that 9-day road trip again?
Duh.
Exactly. So, you know,
No,
yeah.
I want to go to work.
Well, if you'd like, no, I'm just kidding. But that's just the thing is the experience, man, you know, and being able to bring people out to experience that stuff. And it's awesome what you guys got going on over there. You know, it's awesome with the magazine. You're keeping the tradition alive, and you know, it's phenomenal stuff. But back to we like to somehow turn the wheel and shift gears and then come back to the same. So back.
My fault.
So it's all of our faults. Yeah, so actually I got a few comments here I like to run through. Where did my mouse go? There it is. Jeez Louise. I got 4 different pages open on 2 screens. So we have quite a bit of comments here. I'd just love to run through, and then I got a few more juicy questions to ask you, and then we have something special to do. So let's see here. So Miners Rule is in the building. Good to see you, brother man. Let's see, Don. I'm trying to go through all the emojis, man. Apparently, they were just roasting the shit out of me while you guys were pointing at me. So, give me a second. Give me a second to go through all these fucking emojis. Jeez Louise. Tina Williams says, "How many fingers do you have, Arrow?" Jeez. Oh, let's see. Don Wentz says, "Josh, your group ABS shop, don't forget the info for everyone." So Don, we do have his website. We have the link in there. We also have the Facebook group page. We also have something else amazing that's going to be coming out here soon with Mr. Josh, but we just can't give you all the goodies. Let's see. Michael Crawford says the dig is going to have at least 5 dry washers and also metal detectors. So that's another reason to get your ass off the couch and go to one of the PB group digs. One of the group digs. Let's see.
Probably want to bring a dust mask. Just putting it out there.
True.
Tough it out like a miner. Oh, God, you both? Oh, dude, come on. I thought I was only going to get 1 on that one. Damn. Wow. Okay. Jeez Louise.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh,
Yeah,
man. Hold on.
tough it out like
Hold
a
on.
miner.
Hold
Tough
on.
it out like a miner.
Hold on.
I can think of a couple things I learned on that trip was Jaron was
Well,
tough. And at the end, it was, I got all these bites and I'm so sunburned. And
Bro, when you mix a fucking sunburn with 30,000 fucking mosquito bites, and then everybody's like, "Why aren't you digging?" And it's like 95 fucking degrees, and I'm a redhead. I'm fucking cooked. No, I'm not gonna. No, fuck that. I'm in the shadows. I'm in the shade. I'm in the water, or I'm inside of the truck. I'm not trying to die going for gold. No. Oh, I'm gonna get eaten up for that too. I shouldn't have even said anything. Jesus.
Well, you already got eaten by the mosquitoes,
Dude.
right?
Oh, yeah, exactly. I already got fucking tore up from the mosquito. You know what? We have some
So,
good comments. Hold on.
everyone,
Nope.
bug spray.
Nope.
Bug spray.
No.
Sunblock.
We have an article coming out in the October issue about safety while mining, and it has to do with bug spray. It's true story. Yeah, it's guy Cal, who's watching this actually.
Believe it or not, people will actually take that advice, such as myself.
It's perfect. Yeah, that's the kind of things we want to do is helpful advice, and not just for the small guy, but also
big minds and things like
real
that.
geological advice as well.
No, that's awesome, man, and that's the thing. That's what it boils down to: is any knowledge you can give is good knowledge. And at the end of the day, that's what I've always backed myself by. Is like, if I have knowledge that I can give an individual and help them better themselves in their situation, regardless of what it is, then I've done my job as a human. I've done my job as a person.
So when are we gonna do the PB buddy outing on one of the RGM claims?
Oh, he's putting me on the spot. He's putting us on the spot.
He's not putting us on the spot. That's an invitation.
It is.
Well, that's a phenomenal invitation.
Yeah.
But now he's putting us on the spot live. So now we have to. We have to.
Why wouldn't we want to?
Yeah, you got to come down to California.
No, absolutely awesome, man.
Or
we plan on bringing ourselves down there next summer.
Yeah.
The 9-day road trip is going to be an annual thing. We're going to get our asses down there. This year, we tried to make it happen with circumstances out of our favor. It just wasn't able to happen. We had so many claims we had to go and test out and try, and this, that, and the other, and of course, weather and blah, 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 blah. But next year, we know what to not bring. Sawzall with batteries. We need to bring something else.
Or bad weather. Don't bring the bad
Well,
weather.
I'll tell you what I know I need to bring. And that's
Here we go.
Oh, here we go. Is
Here
to
we
not
go.
fall asleep in the truck.
Oh, actually, hold on. We have a comment here that's from Michael that says, an arrow is asleep in the truck the whole way. My golly. I'm glad someone picked that up other than myself. Oh, my goodness gracious.
No, it's your turn finally, and you're missing out.
Yeah,
No, I was sleeping. I was
I don't know
sleeping.
what to say.
he was doing this. This is what he was doing the whole time. He was also doing that. That was
What
a different
fucking
day.
guy. He's so nice. He's so nice. Just so you know, you haven't scrolled down to the comments yet, but about 10 minutes ago, I predicted that you were going to show the pictures.
Oh, it's for your guys' entertainment. My God, we got to pick on Arrow every once in a while. We really do. Oh my goodness. But
It's okay. I can take it.
But yeah, no. So with that being said, I got a few more questions that I really want to ask you, and then we want to go ahead and do a phenomenal giveaway. We're running close to about 2 hours. Absolutely phenomenal podcast. Everybody here, Michael, Miners Rule, Robert Lee over in Alaska.
We need to hear a little bit about gold. What's your biggest gold find?
That's a good question. I like that.
You know, being a placer miner, dredger specifically for the most part of it, I'm not a big nugget finder for the most part. You know, I have days where if I'm dredging, you multiple ounce days, you know, but most of it's, you know, smaller stuff. Not even a gram typically.
What's your biggest cleanup?
My biggest cleanup with a dredge is
just biggest cleanup.
Like in a day, in a weekend, you know.
Whatever you got, man. Whatever you got.
This guy, Arrow, you got to ask the proper question. Jesus, let me go ahead and fix that.
To it, you know?
And there's tons.
The best one, I'll tell you.
Dredge is different from high banker, from sluicing, any kind of sluicing versus panning.
So we were on a creek, really good creek.
Jesus.
I know, it's hard to tell which.
I know, I'm doing this kind of thing. Like.
So anyway, we were on a really good creek, and I knew it was good. There was a hydraulic pit, and the drainage came down right down into the creek. But before that, there's probably 15 other hydraulic pits that drain into it as well. The creek was pretty empty, not much gravel in it at all. But there was this, like, how do I try to jet of bedrock that came out into the middle of the creek. And behind it was a giant gravel pile that had washed up, you know, from all the water raging in behind it. And so we started digging, and at the water level, and I'm just throwing in shovelful after shovelful of nuggets, right, in a sluice box. And every shovelful's got 4 or 5 different 1 gram nuggets in it. And some were 2 grams, some were, you know, 2.5, but most of them were about 1 gram. Every shovelful, I'm just like, woo, you know. Like, I gave my buddy a shirtless hug because we were so excited, and I realized it was probably a bad idea. You know?
Y'all stick to each other and peel each other off of the.
Let's put that on the internet.
Exactly. The things you do when you're too excited.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I agree.
And so at the end of the day, we had over an ounce of gold just in a, you know, Keen A52 sluice box.
Wow.
And I wasn't even filling buckets. I was just shoveling right from it, right into the sluice, no problem.
Right.
And it was the coolest day I've ever had mining for sure. You know, we found more dredging, but dredging is a lot of fun. It's a different world, you know.
Yeah.
You're under the water. And people say it's bad for the fish, but honestly, they hang out with you. I hang out.
Well, you're creating fish beds for the next spawn season. Let's be honest.
And not just that, but the reason why they hang out with you is because you're kicking up all the stuff they like to eat.
The food, the food.
And as you're dredging it, they're hanging out right at your nozzle, like picking stuff off.
They're just ready. They're just eager. Like you're digging for you're sucking for gold, and they're sucking for food. They're like this. Yeah, they're just ready for it, man.
Yeah.
No,
So
we've had videos in PB where, guys go out on a creek that they, it's their claim and things like that, and they got 7, 8 minnows, they got this, that, and the other, and they're absolutely enjoying it, because they're getting fed absolutely phenomenally.
yeah. No, I've had one swim up my sluice box, hang out in the hole that I was digging, and then 2 or 3 hours later, you see him just swim down after he's full.
Oh
And
yeah.
I've never seen one go up the nozzle either. As I'm dredging, they just sit right there. And
The funny thing is, I've had so me being in the community, there was a story a guy was telling me, and he goes, I couldn't keep them fuckers out of my dredge. He goes, they'd sloop in and they'd sloop out. And he said, no matter what I did, them fuckers wouldn't keep going in. It's almost like they wanted it as a water slide. He said they were perfectly fine when they came out. In some way, they slooped back in. And he used the word sloop, and I've never heard sloop in my entire life. He's like, it made a sloop sound. They went up and they went out. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. That's fucking badass, dude.
No, it's true. I've never seen a fish harm. And in fact, you see them gain a lot of things. We all know that. We're preaching to the choir right now, so we don't got to.
100%. Totally agree.
So,
Dom,
come out with them.
Go for it.
I was going to say, what was the next juicy question?
Yeah, so the next juicy question is, when you switched over, I have 2 more. This is the one of the 2. When you switched over to Reinke Mining Services, as far as business goes, as far as branding goes, did you end up losing customers or had a problem with like customer base when you switched over from your original business title to the new business title, or did you not have that kind of problem?
Well, I guess what happened really was the products were different. With Reinke Mining Adventures and Services, I came out with the group, where they pay $15 a month or $160 a year to gain access over 30 mining claims in California. They can camp on the claims and all that. So it's a really good value. It gets people that don't have a way to get into it. It gives them a way to do it that's affordable. And plus we do monthly outings and yada yada. So product was different. Before I was more of what I called myself a mining consultant. And basically, if you had a problem or an issue or even just a wish of finding mining claims or getting permitted or basically whatever it took, I was the guy that you would call to help with that. And so Reinke Mining, I took that same skill set that it took to create that, the Nevada County mining side of the business. And I took that, basically dropped that part of it. I still do consulting for people. I still actually do a lot, but it's more of a phone call. Hey, I need help with this. I need help with that. Okay.
Right.
It's not something I advertise for. But the Reinke Mining is the claims access side. And I've been able to locate some super good spots. And, using my knowledge here in California, that's a big reason why we haven't branched out into other states, is because I'm not going to do anything until I understand that it's good. Right. That's quality is more important in my business than it is in anything.
Because quality over quantity. Right.
Exactly. And that's how we've gained the good reputation that we have. It's because people go out, and we had a 4th of July outing and a guy found 9.6 grams on.
I saw that. That made me jealous.
You're there.
That made me jealous.
Yeah. So we have claims that produce that, and I have the ability,
excuse me.
I have the ability to replace those claims when they're beat with the same good ones again. And in fact, I have a bunch in my pocket right now that aren't in the group that I'm waiting until some of these claims do get beat to replace them with. And that's how I'm running this business. Is I'm more concerned. And honestly, it's the same thing with the magazine. I'm looking at it from the reader's point of view, from the prospector's point of view. What do they want, and how can I provide it to them affordably?
Right.
You know, and so that's my entire goal. And with the magazine, our only goal is to make it more readable. It's always been like the best, right? For 92 years.
Yeah, for many, many years, for
It's
sure.
1931, August.
For sure.
Yeah. And I do have the first copy right here if you guys want me to show
Fuck
it.
yeah, we do. What kind of question is that?
Hey, give me 1 second.
What kind of, come on, man. What kind of question is that? Of course we want to see the first frickin' issue.
Here it comes. I can't open it much because it's pretty brittle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really brittle.
I just want to feast my eyes. That's all I want to do. I want my eyes to be able to see it.
Let's see. There we go.
That's freaking phenomenal, man.
Very good,
Holy
man.
shit.
Let's see. Where's the date? Hang on. There it is.
They have, back in those days, there was like no color and no white paper. They didn't know how to create white paper.
Right.
It was all of manila paper, and it was super, super, super thick paper.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
the date there.
Yeah, August 1931.
That's the very first issue of the journal.
Dude.
ever.
And when you open it and you go to take a whiff, you actually choke because of the stuff they used in the paper. You can't, yeah.
My office smells bad, dude. I've got stacks of old magazines from here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They
Better
do not
now,
smell
but
good.
in the beginning it was stinky. But
Dude,
here's
it's
another
brutal.
really cool thing. A lot of these magazines, even from back in the history, have to do
That's
with
so cool.
where I live. Right?
That's
I'm
so
in Nevada
cool.
County. Sierra County, the North Fork, Yuba River.
Yeah,
down
Nevada and Sierra County mines. Yep.
almost
Yep.
everything in these old magazines has to do with this area. And that's one thing that's like, another reason I'm super proud to have it here in Grass Valley.
Right.
Because Grass Valley, Nevada County is California's #1 gold producing county. Not only is it #1, but it doubles #2 in gold production.
Right.
And that's right here in Grass Valley because of the Empire Mine, the Idaho Maryland Mine, all those. To have it back here in the heart of the gold country is also something else I'm very proud of.
Dude, it's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I can only imagine how humbling that can make an individual is to be able to have roots back into the 1800s. And then on top of that, being able to continue a magazine that's been around since that time, since brothels, since the old Wild West, since times where we can only imagine how things worked. You know what I mean? So being able to have that in your hands, I can only imagine how humbling that is. That's such a phenomenal freaking thing, man. It
It's
really is.
Humbling. It's almost like stressfully humbling
Right.
because of that.
It is stressfully humbling because you got to make sure you get it right.
It changes, and we're not always going to get it right.
Yeah, I agree.
But of course, it's our intent, and some things will be better, some things will be in the transition. And it's just the way it goes. Gotta have patience with yourself.
That's the reality of it. Yeah. No, I totally agree. So, excuse me. Jeez Louise. So the second and final question before we end this podcast and end up doing some kind of special giveaway. What I definitely want to address is what are some of the things that people can see in the future from Reinke Mining Services, from what you guys got going on, Reinke, everything that you are embodied in. What can people see in the future, or what kind of things you can tell us without, obviously saying too much, because I'm sure you got a bunch on your agenda for, the upcoming years. But what are some of the things that people can look forward to coming from you and your business?
Well, first and foremost, I'll go to the ICMJ. We fully intend on continuing the ICMJ summits that used to occur in Placerville. chances are they'll be in Grass Valley where I live. We've got a great fairgrounds. So we intend to bring the ICMJ Gold shows back. It's just going to take a certain amount of time to get it all. I mean, we're nailing down so many other things in transition
Right.
first. And so just that is definitely going to happen, whether it takes a year or two. I don't
No matter
know.
what it is, big staple.
It's going to happen. So that's one thing on the ICMJ side that people can look forward to is gold shows and hopefully more. And so as far as the Reinke gold mine goes, we need to expand into other states. Obviously, we've got a little bit of California that we need to fill up, like Central California. We don't have too many claims to, and all of that at this point is dependent on time for me because.
Right.
As far as claims go and things that go into the group, call me a nitpicky boss, right? There's a quality standard that only I can
Go through. Yeah.
right, and so it takes time, it takes effort. We fully plan on expanding into every state we can.
Right.
That's
Right.
the goal. And of course, it takes finances, it takes time, it takes everything to develop that. But our goal is to go as big as we can in every way. And for the prospector, too, we want to do outings. That's our big thing. We have monthly outings, right? And they're all
Right.
for members. We don't pay a dime to go to the outings.
Right.
We have free barbecues or campouts, and it's just all about community. And so everything I bring into this will be community based. And there's no lines on what that community is, who it is. It's just if you like gold mining, come on down.
Right. And investing into the community as a whole.
Right. And building on that community, not to get political, but there's a political line a lot of times in mining, right? One side or the other. And I feel like having friends on both sides of the aisles might be helpful. And so I'd like to sort of erase some of that political difference. And, the more people you educate about what mining truly is in today's world, the more people you're going to impact, whether they're
I agree.
on the right or the left, right?
I agree.
And so that's my goal is to bring things in to where it's just we're going to rebuild. I mean, the Buzzard and GPAA and these people who did these things way back when in the 60s, 70s, 80s and built this community, which they're probably the only reason we exist today. I'll be honest.
100% agree. 100% agree.
And the ICMJ magazine's a part of that heritage as well.
100%.
And so I think that there's sort of a new awakening,
there's a new arising of and I'm sorry to cut you off, but there's a new arising in the community. There really, really is. And
there is. And it's from different aisles than what it's been in the past.
Right. And you've had folks who over many, many years have created problems versus uniting the community, right? So today's day and age, we shouldn't have problems within the community. We should have problems outside of the community to help with land rights, to help with areas where they've been mineable for hundreds of years. We shouldn't have a situation where we're creating problems within the community because at the end of the day, it's not doing any of us good. It's not doing any of us good.
No, it's not. But is it avoidable?
And that's the situation that we all face day to day.
Look at everything else in the world. I mean, those problems exist in every facet of every.
Well, and there's a good reason they exist, and then there's also reasons outside of our hands.
Because humans suck, right?
Exactly.
Since you can't figure it out, that if you have one common goal, that you should.
Big-headed fucking assholes such as Arrow.
Egos.
Oh yeah. I'm just kidding, Arrow. I love you, dude. I had to make sure you're awake over there.
Oh, you wait till this is over.
Whoa!
No, I think a lot of it has to do with the loss of the adventure of the outdoors. Technology has really sucked people in, and in a lot of ways, it's a great great thing. In a lot of ways, it's not. But it has single-handedly detached from our ability to understand where everything comes from.
But the good thing about that is that that also creates a vacuum. Human nature is to be outdoors, right? Like you go there and you feel revived in ways.
You feel
It's like,
liberated. Yeah.
it's like going to a therapy session that you just spilled your guts out. You walk away from it having this sort of more whole feeling as a
Got a
human.
release on life. Yeah.
Right. So that's not just for gold miners. That's for everybody.
Well, it's for everybody, but if you grow up in an urban environment where you have parents that are not avid outdoors people, and you grow up knowing that the urban environment's what it takes it.
It
And
takes
it may
yeah.
be so just happenstance that you went camping with a friend, and you're like, oh, well, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right.
And
then you see a guy gold panning, and you're like, "Hey, what are they doing?"
Yeah,
You go
and
home and kind of think about it.
and that's a big point of these digs, is try to get some new people in there so they understand that, or see, not understand, but understand it, but just the enjoyment of it, and potentially that'll lead to a longer thought terrain.
Definitely.
No, I totally agree. I mean, that's what it all boils down to, is getting people out there and really experiencing what we get to experience all the time. I mean, the problem with today's society and the way the world works these days is people are so defensive before they're agreeable. That's the biggest problem, is they put up this massive defense wall because of what they've been taught. Yeah, what they've been taught, what they understand, and once they actually get out and understand the different side of things with the mining and prospecting community, they're hooked. My kids love it. My wife loves it. I love it. We're able to let loose and be ourselves.
This is bad.
Well,
Exactly.
people don't even realize that they love it. You go to people's houses who are not outdoorsmen, and they got crystals sitting on the shelf, or gold
We're all
jewelry.
treasure hunters.
Yeah.
They don't even realize. It's like, well, would you
Yeah.
like an opportunity to try and see what that's all about? I mean,
Right.
it's a lot different if you pull it out of the ground yourself.
Right. No, totally agreeable. So we have gotten to the end of the podcast, and as promised, I have something to give away. It's nothing more than one of these. I'm just kidding. Haha.
That was for me.
Yeah, it was. I gave it away to Arrow. But anyways, I want to go ahead and do a pay dirt giveaway real quick. As you guys have seen on the website, we have the kids painting kits, great for Christmas gifts, great for just grabbing and buying and messing around with your kiddo in the garage, sluicing something. Go check those out on the website. But aside from that, we also have a bag of pay dirt to give away that was donated to the PB family. I moved not too long ago, so I still got a bunch of shit in boxes. This just so happens to be one of those things. So I know who donated this. I appreciate you donating it to the PB family. And I'm sorry it has taken so long to be able to give it to someone that is going to enjoy it as much as any of us would.
He only panned through it once.
He's not that good, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. Oh, well, we might as well not give it away now. Fucking A. No. So with that being said, everybody that's watching right now, go ahead and put your Rick Staff says, I still need a damn hat. You're not the first.
I need one too.
You're not the second. I'm trying to contact a distributor locally that's going to be able to do hats quickly. The two other options that I found across the interwebs is 3 weeks delivery time. I'm not going to make you guys wait 3 weeks to a month. That's just a massive. There's so many people out there independently that are doing it on a small scale that'll be able to do it for a relatively good price. And, quality is king. If you look at any of our PB sweatshirts, T-shirts, zip-up hoodies, the whole works, man. I mean, it's all quality. People are still wearing the same thing they wore 4 years ago. We just had a We just had Paul Schreiber post, and yes, I'm going to call you guys out because I love you guys. So, Paul, I love you. Raymond, I love you. Danny, I love you. But Paul just made a good post, and a guy is still wearing a colored blue PB shirt with the logo still intact, pristine, and he bought that probably 2 years ago. And he's been probably washing that bad boy every time he goes out because he's representing nothing but love. So with the hats, give me a little more fucking time. Anyways,
Hey, so wait, real quick, Paul actually gave me a prospecting buddy shirt, which I still have and wear.
Paul Schreiber gave it to you?
Yeah, I did at one of our outings. Yep. And so I still wear it. Yep, and it's held up, no problem.
Dude, absolutely badass. Paul, you deserve something special in the
Paul
fucking
does.
mail now.
Paul promotes you.
Dude, Paul's a phenomenal. Fernando. Oh, yes. My bad.
Who do we
Holy
got?
shit. Someone just screwed the pooch for me personally because I said a name. All right. Fernando. Yeah. Fernando has a white t-shirt with black when we were doing the colors. He also has a blue with a white when we were doing the colors. We'll be re-announcing all the colors back into the situation. But Fernando, you're a badass. Paul, you're a badass for meeting up with him and having some fun with him, dredging or high banking, whatever you guys were doing in those photos.
Is that Fernando Quirez? How do you say his name? Is it start with a Q?
I didn't pronounce his last name for a very good reason.
I did.
I love you, Fernando.
He had a problem with Fife, so.
Yeah. So,
hey, Fernando, sorry for that. The butcher.
I get my ass eaten alive when I mispronounce something. I get a message that's like, "Hey, it's this." Google says it's this or it's this, and I'm like, "I am so sorry. It won't happen again. I won't do it live." So I've learned over 27 podcasts, if I can pronounce the first name, that's what works.
Yeah. I just had to make sure it was him, so I could give a shout out.
No, it is. It's Quiros.
Oh, you did? Oh.
Yeah, Fernando Quiros. Fernando Quiros. He's still going to beat my ass. It's probably the wrong way I'm pronouncing it. But Fernando, you're a badass dude. Thank you for yeah, exactly. Yeah. Point the fucking fingers, right? Oh, gosh. But no, Fernando, you're a badass. Paul, you're a badass, man. I'm actually going to be reaching out to you soon. I got your message earlier, buddy. I've been super busy today, changing a water pump, go figure. Not for my own, but for a family member of mine. Anyways, aside from that, let's go ahead and wrap this bad boy up. Let's win some freaking pay dirt, right? So this is from Roaring Camp in California's Mother Lode, guaranteed to contain gold. How much? Don't quote me because I have no clue. However, you will find gold in it. And if you have nothing better to do on a Saturday, a Sunday, even a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I don't care. You have some pay dirt to be able to pan with your kiddos. With that being said, go ahead and drop your name in the comments. We're going to throw those bad boys in a name wheel real quick. And we are going to get this pay dirt bag sent to the individual who wins. So,
do you want to do another giveaway too?
Let's do it, brother man. So instead of one, we have two. So let's make it happen, Mr. Josh.
Let's do a 1-year membership to the RGM group. 39 claims in California.
Woo! Woo! That just topped my little bit of pay dirt. So
I wasn't trying to, sorry.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's badass. So we're going to do the first giveaway with pay dirt bag. The second one is going to be 1 year of RGM. Mr. Badass Josh Reinke is going to make that happen. That's absolutely phenomenal. So make sure you guys put your names in there. I'm sure a lot of you guys would love to get over there, and I'm sure a lot of you guys actually live close by. So I'm sure that this thing is going to benefit you more than you can imagine.
Can't win though because they're already members.
Did you hear that, Fernando? You are already a member. You cannot get the extra year.
That's actually not true. If they win, they win. They deserve it.
Well, I'm just not going to say anything anymore, and we're just going to do the name wheel. Jeez Louise, here we go. Okay, you know what? In fact, Arrow is going to open the next podcast because he's given me the most shit. In the meantime, go give Josh some shit on
Hey.
his Facebook page.
I'm not the one posting pictures here, buddy.
What pictures?
Yeah, what kind of pictures?
Are you
Yeah.
talking about this one?
That's that one? Yeah, that one.
Oh, you mean this one? My bad.
Oh,
Oh, no. That one. That's
my-
the good one.
oh, yeah, that's terrible. He's a handsome fellow.
Oh, man. All right, let's get these names in a name wheel here. Jeez Louise.
I'll be right back.
You got it. Let's see. So, Mr. Raymond, let's get you in there. Mr. Raymond, we got you, buddy. Don, we got you in there. Let's see. Paul, we got you in there. Miners Rule. Hey, brother, what's going on? Got you.
He's
in
been on the
there.
show, so if you didn't get a chance to see that, go check it out.
That's right. He is a badass dude in himself. We got Tina in there. We got Andrew in there. Let's see. Give me 2 seconds to click. Like I said, I got 4 pages, guys. So I'm trying to go through every single freaking page I could possibly do. Terry, let me get you in there real quick. Let's see here. We got Robert. Let's get Robert. You know what? You do the damn name wheel, okay? Next one, you're doing the name wheel, okay? Jeez. This guy giving me shit. All right, let's see who else we got here. Mr. Anthony, we got you in there. I'm always getting shit left and right, trying to do the job that I was trying to do, and unfortunately...
I know last time you bring me on this show, right?
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so we got some folks on the YouTube page. Let's see. We got Mr. Rick in the building. Let's get you in there. Joseph, let's get you in there. Let's see. Let me scroll up real quick. Dun, 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 dun. Looks like we got Cal in there. Let's make that happen. And then let me click on the 4th page here. Make sure we didn't miss anybody.
Cal's the man, by the way, guys. He writes for the magazine now.
Yeah, Cal's badass, man. Absolutely badass. Absolutely freaking badass.
Cool guy, too. And I'd like to mention also, he's displaced from his home right now because of the mosquito fire in Forest Hill. And so let's, give him some good wishes from all the PB.
Let's definitely bless him, man, and pray to God that things work out for him and his family in the best.
It's looking good. It is.
That's good. As long as it's looking good, man. I mean, I pray to God that every individual that's even close and remotely close to that fire is taken care of. You know what I mean? Or getting through it to where once the fire is handled enough to where they can return back home.
Yeah. Yesterday was scary, man. That fire was coming up in the Forest Hill bad, and today it's because of the weather cooled off quite a bit. So that's helping a ton, but it's still trying to run. But they've had a ton of time to really hammer down lines between the fire and Forest Hill and Todd Valley and the areas that have been, closely affected. Unfortunately, there's definitely been a lot of homes lost on the southeast side of the fire. Northeast and the far east, there's not homes out there really at all.
Right.
The southeast, the southwest. And the northwest is where Forest Hill and, Volcano. So there's definitely been people who have lost a lot in this thing as well. So we'd like.
Well, let's do this. Let's all everybody watching right now. I got a lot of names in the name wheel real quick. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's everybody pray for all the folks over there battling the fire, battling the situation over there. A lot of folks have lost their homes, have lost everything that they, have worked for their whole life. So everybody in the comments section, please go ahead and put a prayer in there and pray for everybody over there. So that way, they have a lot of support from the PB family and of course from Josh Reinke's family as well. So,
and if anybody has been hurt by the fire, feel free to reach out to all of us, man. Miners are good people. We help. So,
ditto. No, I totally agree. Yeah, and we had one individual post on the PB page that actually lives over in California, and they've gotten quite a bit of support financially to help them out, to get back on their feet. So, anybody that's watching, if you have donated on the PB page for that GoFundMe raiser or whatever it was, I appreciate your support. I appreciate your love. I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, like we were just talking about the whole podcast, it's about your family. It's about the people you love the most, that you hold near and dear. And at the end of the day, those are the folks that you go home to, that you enjoy the most. You could have all the friends you can possibly want in the world, but at the end of the day, your wife, your mother, your brother, your sister, whoever it may be, that you talk to on a daily basis, who you genuinely would take a bullet for, those are the people that are going to be there for you forever. So, if there's any folks like that over in that area, like Josh just said, reach out to us. Don't hesitate, because we will definitely make sure that you are taken care of.
You'll get help.
Definitely taken care of. With that being said, I'm pretty sure we got every single person into the giveaway, so we're going to go ahead and spin this bad boy. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and name off the names. I think I missed. We got a total. Yeah, so I think I missed 7 of you. So I'm going to go ahead and name off names. If I miss a name, put it in there within the minute, because if you don't, I'm going to spin this wheel and we're going to get some things going to town here. So we got Raymond, we got Don, we got Paul Schreiber, Miners Rule, we got Tina, we got Andrew, we got Terry, we got Robert, we got Anthony, we got Rick, we got Joseph, we got Cal. And then there was 3 others that I totally spaced. Oh, we got Kent. And then we also have your YouTube page name always throws me off, man. Every fucking time. Adam. Jeez Louise. So if you didn't hear your name, then go ahead and post it in the comments. If not, we're going to go ahead and spin the wheel now for the pay dirt bag. So in the meantime, Michael, did I get you in there? Michael, I didn't get you in there. I apologize. We got Michael in there. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Ain't got nobody else on YouTube. Raymond. We didn't get Raymond in there. Man, I am horrible at this. Guess what, Arrow? You're doing this next time. Make it your life's work. All right, let's see. All right, so I think we're good to go. So we got Raymond, Don, Paul, Miners, Tina, Andrew, Terry, Robert, Anthony, Rick, Joseph, Cal, Kent, Adam, Michael. All right. We're ready to rock and roll. Here we go. Drum roll, please. In the comments, drum roll, please. And the winner is...
Yes! Oh.
Actually, it's your very own, big dog. It's Cal.
Whoa! Yeah, Cal.
Cal won the pay dirt. Cal won the Roaring Camp California Mother Lode pay dirt.
Very nice.
So
Just
reach out.
Cal was here ergonomically. I did not tell him to come. He told me he knew this was going on. He was going to watch. So he deserves it.
Awesome. Well, good deal. Well, make sure you send me his address and all that good stuff, and I'll get this bad boy sent out to him. Maybe I'll throw something a little extra in there for him, and I'm sure he'll enjoy it. I'm sure he will.
He would have preferred the free membership, though. But
I think everybody here is waiting
not
for
today,
that. Yeah, no. Oh, geez Louise. All right, so we're going to go ahead and reset. So make sure that you – actually, you know what? We'll keep the names because everybody's on here. So I'm going to go through the names one more time. This is for a 1-year membership to RGM. Massive, absolutely phenomenal. Get you on the gold super quick. You have any hits, runs, errors, concerns, you reach out to this big dog over here. He will take care of you. Make sure you get on the goal. So with that being said, I'm going to go over the names one more time. If you missed your name, you don't hear your name, put your name in the comments. If you don't, within 1 minute, exactly 60 seconds, my ass is spinning the wheel and you miss out. Not my problem. It becomes yours. So we got Mr. Raymond, we got Don, we got Paul, we got Miners, we got Tina, we got Andrew, we got Terry, we got Robert, we got Anthony, we got Rick, Joseph, we got Cal, we got Kent, and we got Adam. So with that being said, if you missed your name, I love you. With that being said, you know what's actually, with that being said, put your name in there, but I got to tell you guys this really mini story here. If you didn't hear your name, put your name in the comment. But, so it's really awesome. So on the 5-minute break, I went upstairs, talked to my old lady, talked to my kiddo, and, I'm using the bathroom, and I get out, and my youngest, who's 5 years old, her name's Ella, right? She, my wife's like, yeah, because I told Ella, I said, I'm on a podcast. You can't be coming on the podcast. I'm trying to do the podcast. And my wife says, well, the reason why she came downstairs is because she actually turned the TV on and she saw that you were live on YouTube. And so she clicked on the YouTube podcast and was seeing you live, and she had to make sure it was live. So she came down here to make sure I was on here.
Very cool, man. That's awesome.
Dude, that just melted my heart. I'm like, oh my God, that's so awesome, dude. Like, shit, dude, it made my week. It made my
You guys
month.
got 30 seconds more?
If that. Let's see. We got John Sparks. Thank you, brother, man.
I was going to say my wife's here if you want to say hi to her real quick.
Yeah, definitely bring her in real quick, man. She's obviously making things happen for you. So
She's actually half owner at the ICMJ as well.
half owner.
Say hi to Sheree.
Hi.
How we doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. How are you putting up with this guy's crap every day?
Oh, he's great.
I'm just kidding.
We've known each other since high school, so we started off being like best
High
friends.
school sweethearts.
Yeah, kind of.
Absolutely.
I know you.
Yeah. We were friends for like 12 years, like best friends for like 12 years.
That's awesome.
And then-
The fact that you're there for him every day, and what he was telling us earlier with him making the big jump and you actually being there for him with that's a massive, like, night and day decision. It's not something super simple that you can just say, oh, no big deal. When kids are involved, finances are involved, that's a huge jump. So from me to you, I want to give you my gratitude for allowing him to be able to make that jump and for where you guys are at today. It's an absolutely phenomenal thing that you guys are doing. And you supporting him like that just only makes him a better person and definitely keeps the pioneer spirit alive. So from me to you, I thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. I trust in him. He's always taking care of me as a friend. I've always had 100% faith in him no matter what decisions he's ever made. So, yeah, I don't know him in that aspect.
That's good because, like I said, that big decision, when a lot of different individuals come to that decision, it's a huge deal, especially when kids are involved. So, the fact that you were able to support him 100% and get him to where he's at today, my hat's off to you.
Well, they've had a hell of a childhood because of it. They get to go out in the forest and run around.
Yes, they do.
It's really fun. Yeah.
Very true.
They get to go have fun. Well, it was nice meeting you, and thank you for making an appearance. All right, so let's see here. So, Michael, I got you in there already, buddy, man. Don says hello. Josh's wife. Tina says that's just epic. Absolutely phenomenal. Let's see. All right, so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and do the name wheel for the RGM 1-year membership. Absolutely. Hey, can I put my name in there, Josh? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Unfortunately, I can't win all the goodies. I got to be able to distribute them to the phenomenal community. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get a drum roll. Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. And the winner is, let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my freaking goodness. Tina Williams.
Hey!
Tina Williams.
Welcome.
Tina Williams. Congratulations on the 1-year RGM membership. I'm sure you and your husband will absolutely have a lot of fun. She is one of our members on our board that helps PBE run and do what we do, man. So
Great.
Awesome. Tina, you deserve it. You work your ass off with PBE and you do more and go above and beyond than all of us do, unfortunately. We'd all love to go.
If you're on Facebook, friend me, and we'll hook you up with the membership.
Awesome. Absolutely phenomenal. We got comments here, and then we're going to go off on a closing. We got Philip says, hey, all, sorry I'm late. I'm sorry you're late, too. You missed out on 2 really absolutely phenomenal giveaways. But, Philip, hey, you know what? We got a podcast coming soon. We're going to be rocking and rolling every other Thursday. We're going to have awesome giveaways, things like that. But Terry says, congrats. Don says, congrats. Michael says, congrats. Paul says, congrats. Andrew says, congrats. Miner says, congrats. I appreciate all you guys this evening tuning in and listening to all 3 of us bump our gums. Josh is a phenomenal guy, badass individual, made a name for himself. He has a lot of cool things going on in the future. So definitely go over to his Facebook page, join his group, create some conversation. The mining community is all about creating conversation and positivity. So make sure every single one of you guys are doing that. With that being said, I love all of you guys on here watching the podcast. Josh, I appreciate you jumping on the podcast, brother man.
Anytime.
With that being said, we're going to get the hell out of here and call it.
Well,
here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. I just wanted to say there's a shout out to the digs coming up in Colorado, the dig that we're getting together in Arizona. So if you're in southwestern Colorado or the surrounding areas, or you want to make the drive, October 7th and 8th, working on the Arizona one, and we will be putting some information up. So keep your eyes out for that.
Flyers.
Smash the like and subscribe buttons.
For the RGM prospecting buddies outing coming soon.
Let's make it happen. Let's
What
make
he
it happen.
said.
Let me do this. Okay, yeah, this one. All right, everybody. I love you guys. Josh, you have a good night, brother man.
You too.
Arrow, you have a good night, brother man. For everybody watching, see you
Bye,
guys next
Thanks for watching.
every other Thursday. See you guys.